With a new year upon us and a new season just around the corner, I thought why not make a couple predictions on how fun it's going to be to tank the next season's worth of dungeons. Hi, my name's Welgo. I'm a Prot Warrior main since Wrath of Lich King, and I'm currently sitting at 2600 rating. I appreciate you stopping by and would love it if you considered subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. So I did a tier list for Season 1 dungeons and how fun it was to tank them, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of predict where my feelings are on all the dungeons coming forward in Season 2, and then revisit this tier list a couple months later to see if I was right or if anything was more bullshit than I expected. So let's get started. First up, we have the Rookery. This is the War Within dungeon, the very first one that it forces you to go through during the leveling. I have done this one so many times due to that leveling requirement and all my alts that I've made, and I think it's really fun. I think the fights are pretty cool. It's very straightforward, 3 bosses, point A to point B, not a lot of variation in the route. Because of that, I think it's going to be very middle ground. I think it's going to be around a B tier for a dungeon. Nothing special, nothing groundbreaking, nothing too crazy. Next is Operation Mechagon Workshop. Now, this is one I never have done before, so it'll be pretty exciting to learn a brand new dungeon, and through the quick guides I've looked through, it looks like it'll be pretty interesting. For me, I'm going to put that in as an A tier just because the idea of learning a new dungeon, learning new mechanics to tank will be a lot of fun, and I have high hopes that it'll be pretty interesting. The Cinderbrew Meadery. This is the second dungeon in the War Within, located in Khazalgar. Personally, running through this one multiple times, especially with the leveling squish pre and post launch, and how many times I've run it, boss mechanics, and above all else, the B puns that are throughout this entire dungeon, I'm predicting this is going to be my S tier for the season. Trash fight, boss fights, yeah, those will be a lot of fun. But honestly, it's the B puns. Hearing those over and over and over again, I think will make this a lot of fun to tank. Plus the boss mechanics that I remember will be a lot of fun, especially with the final boss and the clearing of the barrels in order to get those cleaned out. I'm putting that as an S tier. The Motherlode, the second Battle for Azeroth dungeon. Now this one I did do, and I remember this one very fondly, but I'm hesitant to say it's going to be a lot of fun to tank. Primarily because of how much trash there is in this dungeon. There's 2 sections where I'm worried there could be constant over-pulling or accidental pulling based off of dodging mechanics. It's going to take a lot of refinement to get done in the initial area and the R&D section, and I'm worried that people aren't going to pay attention and I'm going to have to do more work than I normally need to, so I'm going to put that at a C tier. Priory of the Sacred Flame. Again, another War Within dungeon that I did a lot during the level squish and leveling of alts. I really enjoyed this dungeon. I love the look and the storyline within it, but also how many big pulls there are was a lot of fun. Even after the level squish and doing it max level, it still was a lot of fun to see how far you could limit test, and I feel like that's going to play really well into the early sets of the season, and when it gets figured out, it's going to be even more fun to just mass pull and kick ass. Because of that, I think I'm going to put that at an A, just below an S. The reason it's not going to be an S is because there's 1 or 2 sections that do have me worried, especially as a prot warrior, being the mobs before the second boss and how much magic damage they deal, and the pack before the final boss as well. With the healing that goes on to the one mob and everything, I just am worried how pugs will handle that. But overall, I think it's going to be a fun dungeon and probably one of my favorites. The Theater of Pain from Shadowlands. So this one is another Shadowlands dungeon I have not done before. Looking at the guides on it, about 5 bosses seems like a lot. I'm worried this one might just drag on, that it's going to be pretty linear, but the amount of stuff in it is just going to drag on and make me hate being in there for so long. So I'm going to put this one at a low C. Because I haven't done it before, I can't judge it low enough to put it down into a D tier. So I'm going to leave that at a C, and we'll see how it goes. Darkflame Cleft from the War Within. This one's going to our brand new level, the Necrotic Wake level. This needs to get uninstalled from the game. It's awful. I hate it. I hated running this dungeon with the level squish, hated running this dungeon for Mythic Zeros before the season started. The darkness mechanic is absolutely frustrating. And on top of that, the only fun redeeming quality of this dungeon I heard was rumored to be removed to make it more competitive for Mythic Plus, and that is the dynamite minigame throwing at the darkness boss before you go to fight him. That was the only redeeming quality of it. I just No, I hate it. I hate it already. I haven't run it in Mythic Plus and I hate it already. For the love of God, I'm just gonna hit a 10 portal on this and never touch it again. I don't care if 7 items drop from it that are my best in slot. I will avoid it like the plague and I will craft those items instead. No, no, no. Operation Floodgate. This is a brand new dungeon, so nobody really has any idea what it is, and I feel bad judging it anywhere other than a B tier because of the fact that there's not much to know about it. It could be good, it could be bad. I do like that it is in a zone, like how Dawnbreaker was in the entire zone of Hallowfall, where this is the dam in the Ringing Deeps. I really like that idea and that concept of taking the world and turning that into a dungeon. But other than that, there's not much I can really say about it because nothing is really known about it, or at least I haven't gone looking for anything about it because I want it to be a surprise. But yeah, those are my predictions for this season 2 tier list. Again, we'll take a look at this and we'll revisit it a couple months later and see if I was on the money or if some of these are worse than I expected. I'd love to hear your thoughts and see where you think these dungeons should end up, if I've rated some too high or some too low. So feel free to leave a comment down below and remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this and see what the results are at the end of the season. Until next time, my name's Welgo. Hope you enjoyed the video, and remember, season 2 is just around the corner, but it's not too late to start hating Darkflame Cleft.